But now, I would like to address the valuable things that may have first come to mind. Material possessions, or financial giving and support. As you know, for over 130 years, this organization has never solicited for funds, and it is certainly not going to start now. We don't send out monthly statements to each of Jehovah's Witnesses specifying a dollar amount that should be submitted to finance the work worldwide. Most donations, in fact, are contributed anonymously. Over the years, I have told various Bible students that a person could attend our meetings for 20 years and never put a penny in the contribution box, and we would not know it. Jehovah, of course, would know it, but we would not, because the donations are anonymous, but from the heart. We don't know who gives what. But for a certainty, any donations received do not line anyone's pockets and are not misappropriated. They are all used in supporting theocratic endeavors worldwide.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Why are we picking on poor Let again?
Well, once again, the investigative work of the ex-Jehovah Witness community is proving Watchtower once again to be a liar. Anything new?
I know it. I want to thank Auntie J. She has done a blog, and I'm going to put the link down below. And I had done a video about a week or two ago about Watchtower and their grants with citizensaudit.org. And it's great because some of you are investigating, you're digging deeper, and this is fantastic because, you know, you're exposing them for their lies.
Yeah, and that's what this is, because you all heard Let say right at the beginning, we don't solicit. Yes, they do.
For 130 years, they have never solicited.
It's an outright lie, friends, because here's the evidence.
Yes. So here's her blog. Watchtower Bible Tract Society, partially funded by nonprofit grants. Jehovah's Witnesses do not tithe or in any other way solicit funds. And this goes along with the clip we had with Let. Their work is supported entirely by voluntary contributions.
No, it's not.
And Auntie J has the 2008 Awake, May, page 21. That's where the quote is from. And the name of the article is Philanthropy the Answer. Oh boy. It just never ends.
Not with Watchtower.
It never ends. Typically, to receive a grant from a public charity or a private foundation, one must apply for it. This is otherwise known as soliciting. This is why various nonprofits and communities hire grant writers. Their job is to solicit funds to support their organization's various endeavors.
And that might even include lobbyist groups also.
Yeah, it does. Special interest groups,
Special
anything
interest,
like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, back to her blog. A public charity relies on public and government dollars to fund their programs. A public charity is required to have a board of directors. On the other hand, a private foundation is funded by an individual, a family, or a corporation. A private foundation is governed by their donor. For more information on charities and foundations, click here.
You know, and that's a really important phrase, governed by their donor. See, when you receive a large sum of money from an individual, then that person dictates the direction you are going to take.
Yeah.
Think about that, friends. Think about that very deeply.
Yeah. And which means that they may have some control over what you say and do. And that's why we've never affiliated with any group, because then you're obligated to go by their rules and policies. And we don't want that. We want freedom of speech to say, what we feel and our opinions and stuff. Well, the same thing applies to these charities.
Exactly. Because sometimes it's all about shutting down the individual voice.
Yeah, exactly. Dictating control over what content goes out.
That's right.
And so you have to be careful, when you join any of these foundations, nonprofits, anything like that. Because, they may tell you one thing, but like Watchtower's example here, they're actually doing something else. Have they ever admitted to, the rank and file Jehovah Witness that they're getting these grants from worldly companies?
Well, no, because that, ties them to the world that Jehovah is about to destroy at Armageddon. It's just around the corner, friends.
Yeah,
But yet
exactly.
they're getting grant monies from these individuals and or corporations that may not be Jehovah's Witnesses. And in some cases, they are Jehovah's Witnesses.
Okay, back to her article. Regardless of whether or not they must apply for said grants, Jehovah's Witnesses do indeed solicit funds. And we hear this at every convention, like she's going to bring out. They just don't do it in the same form that they are critical of the churches of Christendom for. They don't pass a collection plate. They solicit in more subtle and not so subtle ways. Let me provide you with a few examples that have been heard in their kingdom halls and assemblies. Bring in your first fruits to Jehovah. This is usually accompanied by a discourse about the local account summary or a talk about supporting the worldwide work. Isn't this a fine facility for a circuit assembly? We certainly appreciate our brothers' hard work in obtaining a wonderful place such as this to further our worship of Jehovah. We've calculated the donations and it appears we have a deficit. Now, many of us have heard this ourselves. You'll be at an assembly hall that donations paid for, like the one in Casa Grande. We were all told that was paid for before they even started. But yet, by time the first lunch break on
On a Friday.
that morning or something, they're already got like a 15 to 20,000 deficit.
Well, you know what that's called, right? Inflation.
No, I call that a scam.
Well, it's, legalized racketeering in the name of God.
Yeah, exactly. Or, as God's people, unlike Christendom, we do not pass a collection plate. No, rather we have a box in the back of the Kingdom Hall clearly marked worldwide work. We don't charge for our literature. However, our work is supported by voluntary donations. If you would like to make a donation today, I would be happy to accept it.
Exactly, and isn't that phrase what we were all prompted to say at the doors? Because Watchtower had to change the phrasing because, they were selling books, selling magazines for a profit. And some other religious entity got caught, and Watchtower quickly changed the direction they were going to go.
Yeah. So Auntie J has the Merriam-Webster's definition of solicit as it applies to this subject. Transitive verb, to make petition to, entreat, to approach with a request or plea solicited, Congress for funding, to urge something such as one's cause strongly. Oh yeah, they fit that definition of soliciting. Of course, every church or institution has needs to be met. Asking for assistance is not the issue in and of itself. However, stating that you don't solicit is not honestly forthcoming. And that's the point all of us have, is you're not honestly saying, you're not honestly being truthful. You do solicit for funds.
Well, you heard Led, over 100 and something years, we've never solicited funds. But they have. Because we are now catching them at soliciting funds.
Yeah, and like she brought out, the minute you apply for a grant, you're soliciting for funds.
You're soliciting money.
Subheading, why should we care? Children. It's that simple. Children cannot protect themselves. Children cannot stand up for themselves. We have to do it. Would these nonprofits continue to financially support the Watchtower and Bible Tract Society if they knew this information? Would you? Click links and see for yourself. And then she has links to like the Australian Royal Commission, the Watchtower and Bible Tract Society's petition to the Supreme Court, the governing body being named as defendants in the latest two Zolkin lawsuits. And the Watchtower and Bible Tract Society has asked the Montana Supreme Court to reverse a $35 million verdict. So, those are good examples, of Watchtower, not deserving these grants and financial support. And it isn't just Watchtower. It goes for any organization, that is abusing children or people. If someone's abusing someone behind the scenes or on social media or something, then it calls into question what are their motives and do they really deserve, these credibility and these grants if this is what's going on behind the scenes.
Well, there again, when you're in this position to apply for grant money, you have to have a structure. You have to have a president. You have to have a board of directors. And if someone on that board of directors is physically abusing somebody or verbally abusing somebody, then you put into jeopardy your grant money.
Yeah.
It's just as simple as that. And really, it just needs to have another whistleblower, just like the whistle's being blown on Watchtower right now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Below, I have noted and focused on the public charities that have supported Watchtower Bible Tract Society in the past. The rest are private, possibly family legacies or donors matched fund. The red flag commentary follows the images. The excerpt was compiled by citizenaudit.org. Do these public nonprofits know about the Watchtower Bible Tract Society's involvement in these child abuse cases? Do they intend to release additional funds to them in the future? Where did the money to support the Watchtower Bible Tract Society come from? The answers or the refusal to answer these questions will tell the people everything they need to know. I know that I would like these questions answered. So would we.
Well, there again, she brings up a good point. Would these organizations be so forthcoming when Watchtower is soliciting funds if they really begin to realize just what an abusive organization they are? And they're doing all of this in the name of God.
Exactly.
Because they're not a charitable organization. We've said this once and we'll say it again. They're nothing more than a publishing company pretending. They're acting to be a religion. They're not. Everything they do has got a dollar price tag on it.
Yeah. So Auntie J finishes this part of it with, I can't just ignore this, no freaking way. And then she has some documents here and screenshots from the citizenaudit.org. Well, she has a red flag at the top with the Wise Resources Incorporated.
Now, she asked a question earlier that if you knew the Watchtower Bible Tract Society was hiding this horrific child abuse problem, would you still continue to contribute to Watchtower? Well, I guarantee you this JW that's about to get exposed would continue to support Watchtower, even though they're well aware of the plague that's affecting Watchtower regarding child abuse.
Well, why did I red flag Wise Resources Incorporated? Here's a little background about them. They repurpose used office furniture and sell it to other nonprofits. That is not the issue. Here's what I find curious. They have no website, no Facebook page. According to their 2017 tax return, they take in a substantial amount of their funds from public and government sources. in the amount of $154,147. Of that, they granted $97,003 to the Watchtower Bible Tract Society. That is the only charity that is documented that they support. At least that is all I could find. I did a Facebook search of their board of directors. I only found one member with a public Facebook page. If you notice in his comments, someone brings up Jehovah. Coincidence? I disguised him just in case. So she's got the documents here, and then she has a screenshot of his Facebook page, and looks like Walter Woodthorpe is in Wisconsin, Wausau, Wisconsin, and he has a picture of the Grand Canyon here. And then she's right, you know, down in the comments it says, Jehovah's works are incredible. And this JW doesn't even know how to spell incredible.
Well, there again, I guarantee you that even with the amount of child abuse that's associated with the Watchtower Bible Tract Societies being exposed, this person and or other Jehovah's Witnesses will continue to grant money to Watchtower because they just don't know the depth of what they're involved with. They don't have a clue.
Yeah.
Not a clue.
Yep, they're going to keep supporting this organization because they believe it's God's organization and God's only channel.
And the thing is, too, is that I guarantee you this person has learned from somebody deep inside of Watchtower how to grant money to an organization that you only have listed as one charitable organization. It's just like Watchtower listing the ISBA in England as their only charity. That's the only charity that they donate to, and then we uncover exactly what's going on. One organization feeds the other.
Yeah. So at the end, Auntie J says, special thanks to Kim and Mikey. Check them out on YouTube. Also thanks to Tabitha W. So thank you, Auntie J, for a wonderful article. And I'm going to put the link down below. And thank you for the shout out. And I hope this article goes viral. And any of you, if you can possibly post it on any of the forums and social media and stuff, you know, to get this information out, because this is so important, you know, for everyone to understand that Watchtower, you know, we catch them in one lie after another. And it's just incredible the things that they're trying to get away with.
Mm-hmm. I know. I know. There's a whole lot more to be said, but I'm going to wait for another opportunity for that, perhaps.
Yeah. Now, I did get a tweet, because I do follow the Zalkin law firm on Twitter. And I did get a tweet this morning. The Zalkin law firm has done, I believe, a short video. They're also on their Facebook page, but I didn't go to that one. But it looks like Zalkin is warning all of these clergy abuse survivors. Don't take a settlement. You know, the Catholic Church is trying to quietly settle with these abuse survivors behind the scenes so that they don't have to go to court and pay them all this money. And he's warning everybody, you know, before you sign anything or agree to take this settlement, talk to a lawyer. And the same thing goes for those who were in, you know, Jehovah's Witness organization. You know, before you take a settlement from Watchtower, because same thing, they're trying to quietly go behind the scenes and shut these victims up and settle out of court. So before you do that, talk to a lawyer.
See, and that's part of the problem that we've all asked ourselves. How come the United States ain't doing nothing about this? How come the government ain't doing nothing about this? How come they're not before the courts of the country? They have been. They've been in front of these courts all along. The problem is that when they settle out of court, you're forced to put a gag order. And then nobody knows. So then we're all sitting here scratching our heads. How come this isn't in the forefront? It's because Watchtower has learned to silence the voices by throwing money at the problem. Well, here, okay, you want to settle out of court, we'll give you $2-3 million, but you have to sign a gag order. You can't ever talk about it. So no one ever knows. And what you don't realize you're doing is you are causing this problem to be kept silent, and you are hurting others that are going to follow you, that are being abused. That's all you're doing, is you're hurting others by silencing the voice. And that's how Watchtower has been able to keep this out of the public eye. Don't let them win by doing that.
And just like I said the other day, now that all these articles are coming out about them destroying evidence on these cases, it's just a green light to every pedophile in the world say, hey, become a Jehovah's Witness, because they're going to allow you to do whatever you want, and they will destroy evidence. And the thing is in some countries, a lot of these court documents are sealed anyway, automatically by the law of the land. I know Australia, for example, any of these cases, you cannot get the court records because they are sealed for like 75 years, 99 years for a child abuse case. So, it also depends on what country you are in. Some countries may allow all of this to be public record. So you just have to, do a little bit of investigating to find these things out.
But yeah, Zalkin is exactly right. What's going to happen is people are going to start settling for a whole lot less money than what they actually deserve, and or a whole lot less money, so that the religions involved will think, well, that was just a little slap on the wrist. We'll pay out a few $1 million and we'll just continue to, have this problem. But now we know how to keep it quiet because the victims can be bought off.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of these lawyers and their websites and stuff are so inundated right now with these abuse cases. Just have a little patience, guys. They will get to you, eventually. I know they're hiring more people to try to help, with this flood that is coming in. So, hang in there. They'll get to you.
That's easy for you and I to identify with, because look at how many emails we get flooded with. My God, we've got, what, a 5-6 month backlog right now? You just have to recognize that with this social media, there is so many people contacting that you physically cannot get to all of them in what you might think is a reasonable time.
Well, you figure, look at the New York City, court system right now. My goodness, they've had to hire several more judges, more people to take these cases. So, it's just in a tremendous amount.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have 576 emails in my inbox, so I appreciate your patience. I will answer every single one.
Eventually.
Yeah, it just takes me a little bit. Since there's only one of me, I can't afford to hire, people to answer the phone and answer emails.
We're not a foundation working off of grants. We're just two people with a camera with a bookshelf behind us.
Just normal, regular people. Yep. So we hope you all have a wonderful week, and know that we love you, and thank you for watching and subscribing.
Bye.
Bye.